Yeah, exactly. Nothing in the gate bias.
It's Saturday, and as I'm sure you know, the Kiwis are one win away from successfully defending the America's Cup. The British need a big turnaround. Some might say they need a miracle to stay in the game. With so much at stake and being right on the edge of the Cup, there are theories aplenty swirling around the dockside here in Barcelona. We're also at that weird point in any America's Cup where we're close to the end, and a few words keep cropping up. They are, this could be. This could be the day that the Cup is won. This could be the first sign of a British comeback. And after 60 days non-stop, this could be the last time I cycle into work at the media centre. And so it goes on. But when you look at the weather models and listen to regatta director Ian Murray, this could also be the day that we wait in vain for enough breeze for any of the above to take place. Yet for the teams, they have to approach today assuming that it's on. For the Kiwis, they need to keep doing what they've been doing. For the British, today is arguably more complex emotionally. While they know they have to keep their spirits up to stand any chance of turning this around, the mood was understandably sombre last night. At Ian Murray's morning briefing today, he and Chief Umpire Richard Slater ran the start of the first race to show how narrow the margins of success are and how a small shift can play a very big part.
This is in the first race when New Zealand clearly wanted to start to the right, expecting some right breezes and allowed themselves to get sort of crowded up against the windward end of the start line, or the right-hand side of the start line. And by distance to the line and everything, Ben got a very, very good start. Or GBR got a very, very good start. But New Zealand got the right favourite they wanted. In most instances, we've seen so far this summer, that would have been a strong enough position to force the windward boat to tack away before you got to the boundary. But you can see here the disparity in the right direction which New Zealand was chasing came to them and saved them in this position. And you can see it coming around the blue line, twisting right, not quite getting over the GBR, and the big right-hand turn off the start line saved their bacon here and allowed them to go all the way. Even though it did start to come back to the left, it allowed that buyout of distance to windward as they approached the boundary, and by then it put them into, an incredibly good position from probably a very difficult position at the start line, and hence the tack and already in front.
How many times have we said it? Today is going to be the day. Today they really need to do it. They're under pressure. Could this be the day? We've said it, it feels like every day. We're going to say it again. But the pressure is really, really on them now. I know I said that as well, but it is. And the one thing that Ineos Britannia are going to need to kick off the day is a good send-off, that's for sure. My goodness, today they've got that. The pre-start was close as Ineos Britannia put pressure on Emirates Team New Zealand right up until the flag dropped. When it did, the Kiwis were forced to tack off onto port. Listening to the onboard comms, it was clear that the Kiwis were not expecting to benefit from going right so early, as Nathan Outridge said, "Actually, we've done all right here." referring to an extra puff and a possible shift in their favour. When the pair came together for the first cross, it appeared that they had, as Ineos had to duck the Kiwis. From there, the Kiwis pushed out to the left, where they made big gains before the two boats came back for the next cross. When they did, it was clear just how much they'd stretched out in just one leg as they rounded 19 seconds ahead. The second upwind leg provided some drama as Ineos worked the right-hand side of the course and pulled themselves back into contention. So much so that a tacking duel ensued and Ineos managed to get alongside the Kiwis, who then pinned them out to the ropes and above the ley line. From this position, the Kiwis were able to bear away and take a slingshot rounding of the left-hand mark, leaving the British to do the slower tack and bear away manoeuvre. Both boats rounding the gate at exactly the same time. The race was back on. But the second downwind leg saw the distance stretch out once again, with Ineos rounding 12 seconds behind at the bottom. Each boat took opposite marks, the Kiwis right, the British left. And while there were some gains by the British, at the top gate the Kiwis were ahead by 17 seconds. Once again, Emirates Team New Zealand took the left-hand mark and the British the right. Time was now running out for Ineos though, as they headed onto the last leg. And with no passing places, Emirates New Zealand crossed the finishing line to take race 9 and with it the 37th America's Cup. And that's why thousands of people are flocking in here right now for the prize giving.
Yeah, I think today's still sinking in a little bit for me, but what a surreal feeling. To know that we've now won the America's Cup again, and just seeing the crowds and the people cheering us on in. I'm sure it'll sink in a little bit more when we actually lift up the trophy in a few hours' time. A few people have already asked me what my favourite win was, to be honest, and I think they're all just so incredibly different and everyone's special for another reason. Every campaign seems like it has little curves in the road, little deviations, and it's all about overcoming those and making sure you keep doing the next thing right. And Bermuda obviously first win. So many people wrote Team New Zealand off so early on in that campaign, then to go out there and be so dominant was something I was really proud of. Obviously winning at home in the middle of COVID, really tough to do there, and then this has probably been the closest one out of all of them. All the challenges were at an amazing level. Ineos Britannia came into the America's Cup on a massive bit of momentum, and then to be able to stamp our authority on the event early was something we're really proud of. I think my favourite moment for this America's Cup was going out there on the Friday after losing 2 on the trot on Wednesday, and then putting down such a dominant performance in that first race. It really felt like a lot of critics were starting to shout at us a little bit after getting off to such a strong start and then losing 2 in a row. But to be able to really stamp our authority on the event from there is something I'm really proud of.
You've seen quite a few campaigns and different styles of campaigns, and once again we've seen the Kiwis, the Kiwi team deliver from the bottom of the world, which is pretty impressive. When you look at the Team New Zealand's performance, is that an advantage to be down there and to be away from the rest of the world, or is it, because it seems quite a remarkable achievement each time?
The world's pretty small these days, so it's not hard to come down and look at what we're doing, that's for sure. But I think ultimately it's the people that have been involved in the program. You look at the people in the team, some of them have been there for a very long time. A lot of team members have suffered defeat. San Francisco, we don't have to talk too much about that, but there's a lot of people there who have felt what it's like to be so close and then not to make it. And so what I've noticed over the last few weeks is that people in the team are tough. People in the team expect a tough fight, even if we're confident in our performance and how we race the boat. Everyone knows that you have to put your best foot forward if you want to win. There's a lot of work that goes into making that boat go as fast as possible, and every day that's happened during the match there's been performance meetings all the time about how we can make the boat go faster. You've won the first 4 races, you haven't lost a race yet, and you're getting told you still can do it way better than you currently are. That's the attitude that wins these types of events, and that's what I've enjoyed so much, because as nice as it is to hear from people around you, you're doing an amazing job, you want to hear where you can actually do it better. And that's, I think, what makes the difference here. Is for the last 3 years I've been told you can do a better job than what you're currently doing, and when you've got someone like Pete driving on the other side of the boat, it's a pretty good way to measure your performance. So that's been a fun challenge for me.
And today in the race, just looking at a little detail, when you came off that line, got forced off onto port, we heard you say, actually guys, I think we'll be all right here. Were you surprised that, were you not expecting to be okay there?
Oh, well, no one really likes to be forced to tack when they don't want to tack. And, the overall strategy is, if you're the windward boat, you want to hold to the left boundary, and if you're the leeward boat, you want to peel them out. And, Ben did a fantastic job in that pre-start today of really trying to get as close as he could to us to force us to tack. But we did, such a good tack out of that start, and, it was good pressure in front of us that we're pretty happy with where we're going in the end.
Ben, commiserations, but you fought a very good fight, as was witnessed today. Ultimately, though, what do you think that the Kiwis had in their campaign that you just couldn't quite get?
I had the bit of everything. Certainly, if you look at the on-water performance, it really was a mixture of maybe a click of straight line speed, manoeuvrability. They clearly did a great job of just trying to pick that first shift off the line, and it was a classic yacht race. So again, those are the normal things you look for. I think their campaign, obviously, they're hugely experienced in this game. They've done a great job as a defender to really try and build the event. And what can you say of them? Take your hat off and say well done.
It feels like you're closing the gap, though. It's an expensive gap. Well, it costs a lot of money to close that gap. But has it given you an appetite to close it a bit more, do it again?
Yeah, look, I put this thing together 10 years ago with the goal to win the cup, and in my book, if you set out to achieve something, you got to keep going until you get the job done. So yeah, we keep going. We're getting closer every time.
What do you think the biggest gain has been in this campaign for you? For the team, I mean.
I think every time we compete in the cup, we learn so much as an organisation. We get more efficient. We get, our design tools get sharper. Obviously, the relationship with Mercedes F1 has been pivotal for us on the technical side. So, it's all of that and some, and ultimately just being in these Louis Vuitton final, being America's Cup final, the organisation grows, it learns, and we're determined to keep on that evolution, that trajectory to get the job done.
You've been involved in so many cups now over the years in all different types of roles, different teams. How does this one rate as far as being difficult?
Well, I can tell you this is the best team I've ever been involved with by a long way, and I've been privileged to be involved with some great teams, but I'm just so proud of this team, how we've developed through the last 3.5 years, some massive challenges, and the team's just risen through all of that. So I'm really, really proud of everyone involved. They've done a great job.
Has it been harder than any of the others? Has it been the most difficult one to do? I'm thinking maybe with the technology, I don't know.
I think the development of the AC75 class has been great to see. I think it's a fantastic boat. I think there's probably still more to come from it. For us, we had, as always with the America's Cup, you have plenty of ups and downs. But I think the downs are when you really figure out if you've got a strong team or not. And we, in our down moments, we really saw the team come together and pull through well, and that's what I'm most proud of.
And the big question is, are you going again?
Yeah, like I said, we set this thing up to win the cup. We haven't got there yet, so until the job's done, the answer is always going to be yes.
Signed a bit of paper to that effect?
Yeah, well, the Royal Yacht Squadron, signed up again to be the challenger record for Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron. We had a great partnership through this last cup, and I think you saw the protocol. It's such a progressive protocol this time around, particularly with the Women's America's Cup. And there's so much more we can do with the event. I think this has been a huge success, but there's so much more potential in the America's Cup. So it's on us now to work with the Kiwis and try and help them as a defender to promote that.
How tough was it out there today, Dylan, going out there? You got so close to being able to get there.
Yeah, another day where we beat them in the pre-start, and they managed to get around us. We were very confident of the side we picked on the pre-start in those Garby conditions. Normally that left side at the bottom is good, so it was pretty disappointing, to be honest, when they got around us. But like you saw, we kept fighting, and I feel very proud that the attacking gains we've made, have been so big that we got an attacking duel and pulled distance into them.
What do you think the biggest gain has been overall throughout this campaign?
Well, it's quite massive, to be honest. If you look at the performance numbers from 6 weeks ago to now, they're completely different. Not just straight line, tacking, jibing, rounding marks. It's all been huge progression. So really proud of the shore team and the performance team and everyone that's helped make that happen.
How much of that has been hardware and how much has it been technique?
A lot of it is technique, and there's obviously a lot of software that goes on in these boats. You can clearly hear there's a very different style of communication in our boat versus their boat. So maybe there's a lot more automation going on an airboat. We don't know, to be honest. You'll have to ask them. But it seems as though there's a lot of pressing buttons and stuff moving in their boat than ours. So hats off to them for developing that.
And what's the mood in the camp? First of all, what was the mood like when you crossed that line? It was a bit quiet on board, but you'd sort of expect that. But what's the mood like then and now?
I think we're incredibly proud of having the strongest British challenge in 90 years. And not just that, it's the whole progression we've had through this entire cup, and to also to beat them in most of the pre-starts, and to do everything it felt as though we could have done with the odds stacked against us. It's been fantastic.
Well done on that score.
Thanks.
Today you left nothing on the table. You really took it to them. What was the briefing this morning? What were you talking about going out?
Yeah, it's the same briefing as normal, to be honest. We spent our time in the sim. We came up with our, the plan for the conditions we had and the 2 entries and what we were going to do. And yeah, we were certainly proud of the pre-start, and we fairly well had them beat. So that's all you can ask for ultimately.
And that upwind mark where you got, I think, within about 25 metres of them, didn't you? Did you think you had them?
Yeah, when they came back, we thought we would have a piece, but as we've seen that both boats, to be honest, the tacking has got stronger and stronger into the competition, and that's just the nature of this game. So yeah, they did a really nice job of locking it down, and we pulled back hard in the tacking duel, but unfortunately not quite enough to get round them.
But as the last race to lead the cup, you've got to be immensely proud of that.
Yeah, I'm just really proud of the whole team, and just massive thank you to all the supporters that have been down here. The British fans have been amazing, even through the difficult times they've been there and supporting us, so we really appreciate that, and hope that we've done them proud, and we'll be back stronger next time.
It's been awesome to watch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Try buying a black Emirates Team New Zealand shirt in Barcelona now. I bet you can't find one now. I've never seen so many, and I've never seen so many Kiwis here, but you can understand why. What an impressive victory. To do it for the 3rd time in a row is extraordinary. To lead the foiling generation, to inspire it, to develop it, and to lead that whole foiling evolution is quite remarkable. And it certainly hasn't gone unnoticed with all their fans who've turned up here in their thousands to celebrate the team's victory. And what a victory it is. The oldest international sporting trophy in the world, and it's theirs again.
Play around, trust me. Ain't had as much fun.